Hello. Now we are going to discuss the topic known as the pressure of radiation. Hope you remember while discussing the formation of tail of a comet, we have seen that there are two types of tails for a comet as it approaches the sun. One is a dust tail and the other one is a plasma tail or gas tail. We have seen that the reason for formation of gas tail is solar wind, which is a stream of particles emitted by the sun, whereas the reason behind formation of the dust tail is nothing but the radiation pressure of solar light. So in that sense, you can understand that the solar radiation is able to exert a pressure on any surface or any object they fall upon. So the idea of pressure exerted by electromagnetic radiation arises from the quantum nature of electromagnetic waves. So we have seen that from the photoelectric effect, which acted as a proof of the particle nature of radiation, that electromagnetic radiation is made up of quanta known as what? Photons. So photons are, as per the concept, are carrying energy of h nu, and they also carry momentum equal to h nu by c. So each photon which acts as a particle or quanta of electromagnetic radiation do possess momentum, and hence whichever particle is having momentum, once they are incident on any object or a surface, they can exert pressure on the surfaces. The basic reason is that there is an initial momentum of the particle in the incident direction, and as the particle, the momentum is conserved, there will be a final momentum, and the momentum being a vector quantity, there is a change in momentum. And whenever there is a change in momentum in any situation, Newton's laws helps us to define what is the pressure or the force. So the force exerted will be equal to the change in momentum delta P divided by the time taken for that momentum change to happen. And hence we can say that whenever an electromagnetic radiation or a photon is incident on some objects or some surfaces, it can exert a force. And if you know the area on which the electromagnetic radiation is actually incident on, and the force that is created, then automatically you will be able to calculate what is known as the pressure exerted by the radiation. So our conclusion is that due to the momentum possessed by electromagnetic radiations, they can always exert a pressure on whichever surfaces they are incident on. And this radiation pressure is actually playing a major role in establishing the hydrostatic equilibrium of stars. Hope you remember I just had explained in the very beginning of equilibrium of a star during the evolution of a star that different stages of the star are having they achieve equilibrium due to various reasons. For example, I mentioned that it was the gas pressure in the initial stages of the star. Gas pressure was giving equilibrium. It was helping to achieve equilibrium. Always there is a fight between, or there is an ongoing battle between the gravity, is not the gravity which tries to squeeze the star to the center, and some kind of pressure. So initially it is gas pressure, and the gas pressure is providing a hydrostatic equilibrium in the case of non-luminous gaseous objects. So this happens for a non-luminous. So before a gaseous sphere is beginning to emit light, or before we begin to call the gaseous sphere as a luminous object or a star, so for the non-luminous objects, gaseous spheres, the gravity is balanced by gas pressure, which is nothing but the pressure that is given by our equation like PV equal to nRT, or we can write it in some other form also, which I will show you in the other radiation. P gas pressure is equal to some rho kT by mu. So that is a gas pressure. So remember, the gas pressure is able to balance the gravity only in the case of non-luminous gaseous spheres. And as the temperature of the non-luminous gaseous sphere increases, it begins to emit radiations, electromagnetic radiations. So what happens is that the fight with the gravity now will be taken up by what is known as what, radiation pressure. So in the second stage of the hydrostatic equilibrium of a star, radiation pressure will be trying to balance the gravitational contraction. So radiation pressure comes in the second stage. So it happens in the case of luminous gaseous objects. Gaseous objects. So remember, in the non-luminous phase of the star, it is the gas pressure which balances gravity, and in the luminous phase of the star formation, it is the radiation pressure which balances with gravity. And you know that in the later stages, as in the case of the end stage or in the case of the main sequence, both gas pressure as well as radiation pressure will be actually trying to balance gravity, whereas towards the end of the star, like in a low mass star like white dwarf, it is the electron degeneracy pressure which balances the gravity. And in the case of heavy stars like a neutron star, it is the neutron degeneracy pressure which balances what, gravity. And when none of these pressures, none of the source of pressures, that is the gas pressure or the radiation pressure or the electron degeneracy pressure or the neutron degeneracy pressure, if they are not able to balance the gravity, in the case of very, very heavy stars, that the stars ultimately collapses and finally it forms what is known as what, a black hole. Okay, or the singularity phenomenon happens there. So what I want to stress is that radiation can exert pressure. So that is the thing. Already we have seen the effect of radiation pressure and all in the modules, because this is a basic physics module. And I had actually covered up all other modules which uses the pressure of the radiation. That is why we discuss the pressure of the radiation as a topic only in this particular module, but we have already used the pressure of the radiation, and I had made a mention about all these ideas what I am discussing right now, except an equation that we will be just seeing next. Okay, so now we will have an equation for the pressure of the radiation. Okay, so the radiation pressure, the pressure exerted by radiation, or you can see that this is the pressure of light. Radiation in the general sense we can say light. Okay, so pressure exerted by light is given by statistical mechanics. All these things are derived by statistical mechanics, because you know that light is supposed to be composed of photons, and photons belong to the category of what, bosons, and the general theory of boson is given by the Bose-Einstein statistics in the statistical mechanics. Okay, so you can it has been derived by using the principles of Bose-Einstein statistics, that the radiation pressure is equal to U by 3. So this is the expression that we are not deriving it. Okay, so the radiation pressure is given by U by 3, where what is U? U is the total energy density. Remember, U is not the energy, U is the energy density at the point, and energy density at the point means energy density surrounding the surface. Okay, which will be of course provided by the radiation. So you can see that this is a equation for radiation pressure. There are several equations for radiation pressure, but this one is worth remembering. Radiation pressure is equal to U by 3, and you can just check whether this equation is dimensionally correct. Energy density is nothing but energy per unit volume. Energy density U is equal to energy per unit volume. So what will be the dimension of energy density? That will be joule per meter cube. Joule per meter cube. And you know that this joule is nothing but Newton meter. Work done. It's not force into distance. So that is also joule. So it is Newton meter divided by meter cube. You know that this meter will be getting cancelled with one of the meter down. So it will be Newton per meter square. And Newton per meter square is nothing but Pascal. Right? The unit of pressure. So you can see that the energy density U will be having the same dimension as that of PR. Now just be satisfied with this particular checking, and we can show that by using the principles of statistical mechanics that this thing is equal to, actually this is equal to what is known as 4 sigma. Actually this is the way in which it comes, that is a 1 by 3 is still there, into 4 sigma by C, 4 sigma by C into T raised to 4. This is the way actually it comes, 4 sigma by C, and this 4 sigma by C is known, okay, it's the velocity of electromagnetic radiation in vacuum. Okay, sigma is a non-constant for you, which is nothing but we have seen, okay, that's a constant that appears in all laws of okay, electromagnetic radiation, or what you can black body radiation. That is a Stefan Boltzmann constant, which we have already seen in the previous sessions. Stefan Boltzmann constant, whose value you know. Okay, so this 4 sigma by C, so sigma is a fundamental constant and C is another fundamental constant. So 4 sigma by C has been denoted in our textbook as sigma dash, right? And it is given that sigma dash is a constant of radiation density. Okay, just remember that sigma dash is involving sigma, the Stefan constant, but it is not equal to Stefan constant, so it is actually 4 into sigma by C. So we can say that this is equal to that 1 by 3 is still there. 4 sigma by C is denoted as sigma dash in our textbook, so it is T raised to 4, where T is the temperature. Okay, the absolute temperature raised to 4. So it's that is the pressure of the radiation, or radiation pressure can be written by this equation. See that you mention this equation, okay, and we have to mention what is the meaning of each symbol. So U is the energy density at the point, and sigma dash is a okay, it's a constant that is derived from the Stefan Boltzmann constant. Okay, so that is that gives you the pressure of radiation. Remember, that's a equation that is derived from the Bose-Einstein in statistics, so we are not going to derive it, we are just applying it. Okay, so that's the thing. Now moreover, the gas pressure which I have mentioned earlier, so this is about radiation pressure. Okay, the gas pressure that you have mentioned earlier, that is denoted by Pg. You can see that radiation pressure is denoted as PR in our reference books, and gas pressure, which I told you, is denoted by Pg, and Pg is nothing but the pressure exerted by the gas inside the, okay, you know, it's a gaseous sphere initially. Every star in the beginning, it's a gaseous sphere before it becomes luminous. Okay, so in the non-luminous stage of the gas star formation, it is the pressure exerted by the gas. You know which gas? Initially it is a hydrogen gas, okay, which later gets converted into helium when the temperature inside the center or at the core is sufficient enough to begin nuclear fusion or thermonuclear reactions. Okay, so in the beginning it is purely hydrogen gas. Okay, so Pg, and this Pg is equal to, that is another equation is given for gas pressure. Remember, this Pg is nothing but the pressure exerted by the gas inside. If you think it to be some ideal gas behavior, of course you can write this is obtained by PV equal to nRT, and you know this n is nothing but what the number of moles, so it will be total number of atoms in the sample divided by the Avogadro number. So you can rewrite it n by Na, small n equal to n by Na into RT. Okay, R is the universal gas constant, and this R by Na, when you put it together, that is nothing but the Boltzmann constant, so that will be equal to n kBT. I hope you remember this n kBT. We have seen this equation. This is another way of writing the same equation, PV equal to n kBT. Okay, and the kBT appears, it all comes from your equipartition of energy. Each degree of freedom contributes half kBT to the total energy and all. Okay, so you remember that. So now this PV equal to n kBT equation, we can write P equal to n by V, right? This is the same gas pressure, only kBT. Okay, P is equal to n by T, and this n by V can be also written in terms of two other quantities, that is mu by U. So here the small k is kb. So you can see that Pg is equal to this n by V is nothing but rho by mu, where what is this rho? Rho is the gas density. Rho is the gas density. So same equation can be written in several other ways. Gas density. Okay, what is gas density meaning? What? you know, it is the total mass of the gas divided by total volume of the gas. So you can see here it is volume of the gas has already come in the denominator. And what is this mu? Mu is the mean molecular weight, and mu is the mean molecular weight. Mean molecular weight. So automatically you can see that this what is that, rho by mu. When you take this rho by mu, you will be getting rho is m by v, okay, divided by mu. So you can see that the total mass of the gas divided by mean molecular weight will be giving you the number of particles of the gas. So it will be equal to n by v. So you can see that this Pg equal to rho kt by mu. This is the way in which it is given in the textbook. That is yet another way of writing the ideal gas equation, assuming the behavior of the gas in a non-luminous star to be something like what the ideal gas behavior. Right. So the total pressure that balances gravity is the sum of radiation pressure and gas pressure. Remember that it is the radiation pressure plus the gas pressure will be balancing what? The gravity in the case of a star. And the radiation pressure, it is actually the radiation pressure, Rp here denotes radiation pressure, it causes driving out of or ejection of streams of particles from stellar surface at high temperature, and those streams are what we have named and seen earlier as cosmic rays. Okay, hope you remember that I told you that cosmic rays are mainly composed of electrons and protons. Okay, so cosmic rays are nothing but the stream of charged particles that is emitted, high energy particle that is emitted from the surface of sun and other all stars. Okay, so actually how those cosmic rays are ejected, the reason is thought to be the radiation pressure. So due to the radiation pressure, the stream of cosmic rays are originated from the surface. They are driven off from the surface of the stars. So that is what you have to always remember. So just remember about the pressure of the radiation. The basic idea is that see, electromagnetic waves can exert pressure on the surfaces. And remember, this is not a new idea. At the time when Maxwell put forward that light can exert pressure, it was actually it was a revolutionary idea that light can exert pressure, or electromagnetic radiation can exert pressure. That is a very what do you say, that a revolutionary idea at the time when Maxwell put forth this concept. And even the writers like Jules Verne, you know, who has written a number of science fictions, has written novels based on this concept at that time, that where for interplanetary space expeditions, people are using this light pressure. At that time it was just like a piece of fiction, but later NASA has been successful in designing spacecrafts which runs using pressure of radiation in the outer space, where there is no other source of just see that source of propulsion, like a rocket has got its own rocket engine. There are light sails, so that is light sails. You know, sail means in the case of boats, we have got the sails, like പായ കപ്പലിൽ പായ പോലെ പായ ഉപയോഗിച്ചിട്ട് വിൻഡ് ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്ന പ്രഷർ കൊണ്ട് ഒരു കപ്പൽ ഓടുന്നത് പോലെ തന്നെ സ്പേസിൽ, ഔട്ടർ സ്പേസിൽ വളരെ വലിപ്പത്തിലുള്ള ലൈറ്റ് സെയിൽസ് ഉപയോഗിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് റോക്കറ്റിൻ്റെ മൂവ്മെൻറ്റ് സാധ്യമാക്കിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. നാസാസ് സം എക്സ്പെഡിഷൻ ഹാവ് മെയ്ഡ് ഇറ്റ് പോസിബിൾ ടു യൂസ് ലൈറ്റ് സെയിൽ. റിമെമ്പർ ദ പ്രിൻസിപ്പിൾ ബിഹൈൻഡ് ദ വർക്കിംഗ് ഓഫ് എ ലൈറ്റ് സെയിൽ ഈസ് ജസ്റ്റ് the pressure exerted by radiation. ഈ റേഡിയേഷൻ പ്രഷറിൻ്റെ അളവ് വളരെ വളരെ ചെറുതാണ്. ഉദാഹരണത്തിന് സണ്ണിൽ നിന്നും എർത്തിലെത്തുന്ന ഇലക്ട്രോമാഗ്നറ്റിക് റേഡിയേഷൻ്റെ പ്രഷറിൻ്റെ അളവ്, when you google it, you will see that it's very very small. For example, the radiation pressure at the surface of earth means at a distance of 1 astronomical unit, one p radiation, that is only of the amount of around 9 micropascal. 9 micropascal ആണ്. Means 9 into 10 raised to minus 6 Newton per മീറ്റർ സ്ക്വയർ. വളരെ വളരെ ചെറിയ ഒരു റേഡിയേഷൻ പ്രഷർ ഡിറ്റക്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റിയിട്ടുണ്ട് എർത്തിൻ്റെ സർഫസിലും. ഓക്കെ, സോ ഈവൻ ദോ ദിസ് റേഡിയേഷൻ പ്രഷർ ഈസ് ക്വൈറ്റ് സ്മോൾ, okay, when we move towards, okay, nearer and nearer to the sun or to any star, the radiation pressure increases, and moreover you can make use of this radiation pressure to get an effective force if the area is increased. Okay, not in meters, you make it okay, big enough so it will be able to produce what is known as what the sail effect, as if okay, a boat is able to sail through the sea using the wind pressure. Okay, so that's about the radiation pressure. So that was a topic that is mentioned in your basic physics module. Just remember, it's all beginning from the idea that light quanta, any particle can exert pressure. Okay, and the equation is something very useful. Okay, thank you.